Some of our viewers out there would like to know what is happening with respect to the executive order on Apapa. They say that the trucks are back, that they were away for a while, perhaps about 2 weeks and a little more, but it looks like the trucks are back on the Apapa road. What are your thoughts on it, sir?
Well, thank you very much, Markwe. Thank you so very much. And I'm sure Abuja is great this month. Okay, so it's an enforcement that has to be consistent, and we have to stay there. So we're working with two prongs. So federal government also has a task force that is working, and the state government also has a full complement. So with MPA, we're also doing a lot of things. First, we're also trying to see how to provide infrastructure for these trailers. Because if you also don't provide alternatives, they'll keep coming back. So we've identified, a trailer park that's going to take 6,000. The investment have been put together, and the construction will start in earnest. Part of the challenge that they have in Apapa is also the issue around inside the port itself. The turnaround inside the port, right, brings a lot of clog out on the port, right? I don't want to begin to speak specific about names or about companies that are causing some of these things. That's one. Secondly, and you also go and check, now they need to return empty containers back to the port. So you see a lot of those truck drivers struggling to get back onto the port. There are empty containers they are carrying to drop their containers back into the port for demurrage. So this is a conversation that we, outside of just solving the traffic, we also need to resolve the operation around the port. So once a trailer takes a container outside, right, and you're expecting that trailer must return that container within 72 or I don't know what the time frame is, they need to start counting the clock. So they need to come back on that road again and want to come and drop an empty container. And we're saying, no, why don't we have container terminals outside of the port? I don't know how they want to do that outside so that they go somewhere and go and drop the container. Everybody needs not need to come back to the ports to want to come and drop their containers. That's number two. The third one is also, we're looking at that bridge, that major bridge, Ijora, going into Apapa, and there's been a lot of load pressure on that bridge, right? And so federal government and ourselves are looking at it, and we're saying that maybe we need to take all of these trucks and underneath, right? We've seen our men being attacked, on that road. Last month, we've seen our Lagos Environmental Task Force being attacked, on that road. But we're not going to stop. We're not going to stop because we're going to continue to put pressure on it. So, but we're working with MPA, we're working with the Shippers Council, we're working with other stakeholders to be able to have a long-lasting solution. Like you did observe, we've cleared it. Not once, not twice. The bridges have been free. But before you say anything, they are back there. So what causes the back there is because they really cannot enter into the port, either the Tinkan port or the Apapa port. And why do they need to get there? It's because of the empty containers that they need to go and drop. So it's a total operation that we need to review, right? But for us as a government, like I said, working with MP and some investor, we're also building, a very massive trailer park for them, where we believe that we also can take them, off all of the road, and the redevelopment of the road also happening. The development that is going on is right from the gate of the Apapa port and is all the way on Apapa Oshodi Express Road, right? And so that reconstruction of the road is also going on.
Is there a time frame for this? I mean, the plans that you have, you've identified the problems. You know that over and over again you have tried to disperse these people, but they keep coming back owing to the challenges which you've enumerated. But looking at the solutions which you're proffering for the long term, is there a time frame for them?
So the long term is this. So let's not kid ourselves. The current capacity of the two ports we have has been well outstripped. The current capacity is way, way beyond what they're currently doing. So that's why Lagos had started the initiative about the deep Lekki port, which is also in conjunction with MPA. So this is one of the reasons why I also went to China, to ensure that the investor, which is about $1 billion, the investors are real and they've started work. That will be the long-term plan. The long-term solution is to decongest that port and have other ports in Lagos being built. So we've started the construction of the Lekki deep port. Is to also quickly finalize conversation on the Badagry port. Those are the long-term solution that will take the city, out of the port. The city in itself has outgrown the 2 ports that we have.
How much time are we talking about, sir?
Well, I mean, the port will be delivered, with all the timeline we see in the next 2 years. It will be completed. They've said 2.5 years, but we're pushing ourselves to be able to cut the tape in 24 to 28 months.
Okay, now let's quickly take this one. Someone's talking about tank farms in the satellite area. They're saying that it has pushed out the residents of that particular area. The tank farms are taking over. Is this something you consider an environmental menace? And how are you looking at the residents who are living very close to the tank farms, which ought not to be?
Well, I mean, so this is it. Tank farms have been built. Some of these residents also gave the land for the construction of this tank farm. Let's not deceive ourselves. I mean, and that Ijegun area supplies about 30 to 35% of the total PMS, usage countrywide. So the investment has been there. It's real. There's nothing we can do about that. So about 3-4 weeks ago, you saw that the whole management of NNPC were with us, were in our office. The whole Tank Farm Association were together, and we've designed a new road. We've designed the Ijegun-Egba road, which is supposed to be a concrete road, right? So what we're meant to do is to concretize that road and stabilize it. It's going to be a dual carriage road, right? And you'll be able to take out, it is a critical resource for the country already. The investment that are there is massive. So I'm not going to sit down and say to you that the tank farms are going to disappear. No. They supply, that inlet supplies about 35% of the total national requirement. So one of the things we need to do is to ensure that policing is enforced. And we are stabilizing the roads now. We're stabilizing the road, but we're also working with, like I said, the tank farm owners, with NNPC, and we're going to redevelop the entire road infrastructure in that whole corridor. We can't do it alone, right? There's investment that we cannot do it alone, and that's the truth. But we'll start down together. We've all agreed amongst ourselves that all of this needs to happen and needs to happen very quick. So we've done the design. It's really just for us to sign up, but we're doing palliatives on all of those roads now, and we are the ones doing those palliatives, just so that we don't stop the critical supply of petroleum products, right around the Federation, which is currently happening. Now we don't want anything to disturb them, right? And we'll have all our security agencies monitoring the activity that is going on there. So it's the chicken and egg thing, and we're solving all of the solutions, but it will not be solved overnight.